this is Robert's son, Tree and Land Maintenance here, talking about how to start your own business. I just started this business. I do everything related to trees, and I'm gonna probably get into snow removal come winter time. It's really easy to do. There's really not an excuse if you want to start a business to not. So I live in Michigan, and it's really as simple as you go to do it. If you want to go an LLC, there's a couple different ways you can go, but I went LLC. So you go to the Michigan website, michigan.gov. Go to LARA. It's Licensing and Regulatory Affairs, and you just fill out a form. It's like 2 pages long. You do it all online. It's $50. That's it. When I did mine, it was during the lockdown. It took about a little less than 2 weeks, so it might be a little less than that. So that's pretty easy. Before that, prior, make sure you pick out a name. You can actually go to that same website. It'll tell you if the name's taken already. You can go through the whole entire list of the state of names. I did a Google search too, just to make sure it wasn't too common of a name. You don't, especially I'm in Southeast Michigan, live pretty close to Ohio, so you don't want to have some kind of super common name that people are going to get confused. Like I said, that came back after a little under 2 weeks. So before you go to your bank and get an account, you want to get your federal tax ID. You go to whatever website that is. That's a federal site. Just Google it. And that, I didn't know I needed that. So actually, I was at my bank when I did it. It gets there almost instantly. It's within 2 minutes probably. Because government's gonna, they're gonna get their money. So, you're not any kind of waiting, holding pattern on that one. Uncle Sugar's gonna get his. So that one's real quick. Go to your bank, have your federal tax ID, and have your LLC number, and you're good. And really, you can get going from there. Tax-wise, so I was able to contact the place that does my taxes for me. It's done. I've been with the same place for quite a while, and basically what he told me, he was really cool about it. I talked to him on the guy on the phone, and it's not a chain, it's not a H&R Block or anything like that. So they're actually a small business themselves. And basically what he told me is to keep records, get like a QuickBooks, and just start pegging everything down. You got, what your income is and what your expenses are, and just keep track of all that stuff, especially for the first year. And we, start doing that, drilling down on that, at the end of the year. You start making a lot of money. It works out better for a lot of people to do it quarterly, but said for now. Plus, I didn't do mine until halfway through the year anyways. And that's really about it, so, there's a couple things that are good ideas, do a Facebook page, one of the first things I did is I sold some firewood to a guy, and I thought that business cards were going to be like an outdated thing. You need a Facebook page and, whatever else, Instagram, Twitter. And the first thing he asked me, I told him, I was like, hey, I sell firewood, I do removals and stump grinding, all that other, and so he's all right, cool, man. This, that. You got business cards? I'm like, oh shit. So those aren't a bad idea. I think I was able to design mine on my phone and get 500 of them for like 15 or 20 bucks. It's pretty cheap. It's easy to do. Then after that, you're kind of off and running. All I did, the way I've gotten almost 100% of my business. One job was a referral, but the rest of them, I went and started knocking on doors, saw problem trees. One was a guy with a big stump in his front yard that a tree had fell over, and the power company had to take care of the tree, but he had this monster stump in his front yard. It was a couple miles from my house, so I went and knocked on his door. And that's basically how I've been doing it. And I got that one and just went around my local area, knocked on some doors, and got pretty good responses. Anybody I didn't get a response to, I left a business card and wrote on it, hey, I'm doing this, that, and I didn't hear anything back from those, but most people that I got a hold of were, wanted work done. And so the other weekend I went out, I was only doing stump grindings because that's one piece of equipment I don't have, so I have to rent. and every job I went to, I got quotes. I gave quotes for removals or trimmings, And then the one job I did, I was grinding a stump, and he goes, "Hey, my neighbor's got one." So I grown 3 stumps at this guy's house, and the next door neighbor also had 2 more that I did. So, it's a lot of that's about networking, getting out there. If I had to do it over again too, I would, not wait so long. I kind of got into this holding pattern. Well, I gotta wait on this and I gotta wait on that. You really don't. Don't wait for your business cards to come in. It took a week. If you can start making contacts, go out and do it. I should have been knocking on doors and saying, "Hey, once I get all my stuff around, I'll come out and do it." I would have had all the stuff already lined up. One thing for my business, you really need insurance too. So that's really kind of like the last phase. You need I believe they want at least your LLC number, and then I don't remember if they wanted my federal tax ID, but I had all that stuff. So it's for a tree service, fairly pricey. I got mine in Michigan. It was about $3,000 for the year. That being said, it wasn't quite that bad because my pickup truck that I drive, it depends on the amount of equipment, but my pickup truck that I drive, I'm going to insure that under the business, and so that was for just regular private insurance, that was $100 and something a month anyhow. So, figure, it's going to take that down by about half probably. So usually about, generally speaking, it's probably $1,500 a year. So not horrible. But that to me gives some people some peace of mind. I do lead with that too, especially if somebody says, "Oh, well, I got a guy that'll do it cheaper." I go, "Well, I'm insured," and all that, and it seems to be pretty positive because you get a lot of guys that are not insured and everything else. Plus, Michigan, you don't need any type of licensure to cut trees, which was a little surprising to me. But I guess that's what it is. But bonding, I don't believe I'm going to go with any kind of bonding. All that really means is you're guaranteeing your work. It's some separate insurance. I haven't had anybody ask me about bonding yet. That's kind of more of a contractor thing. But if they do, my thing will be is that, I'm bonding my own work. I'm guaranteeing my own work, and if something goes wrong or you're not satisfied, we'll work it out. We don't need a third party, insurer to make that happen. It's pretty cheap. I looked into it actually. It's really not that expensive, but like I said, I haven't had anybody ask me about it yet, so I'm really not too interested in it. That's really about it. If you're thinking about starting your own business, there's no reason why not to. And like I said, if I had any advice, I just tell you to, get off your butt and do it. Don't sit there and wait for the perfect time. It's kind of like having a kid, right? If you wait on the perfect time, you're going to keep on waiting and waiting and waiting until it's too late. So if you got a business idea, it costs, like I said, it costs you about $50 to get started. So if that's what you really want to do, you want to be your own boss. You don't want to have to depend on somebody else, because corporations they're not loyal to anybody anymore. It's not like when your granddaddy was coming up, worked for the same place, doing the same job for 40 years, retire with a pension and all that. It's really cutthroat. A lot of these corporate things, and it works both ways, right? You got people don't stay at the same jobs. That there's huge companies, all they do is headhunt people. I know when I was working in automotive, I'd get messages every seems like once a month, once every other month, "Hey, you looking for a new opportunity?" They're trying to poach people and everything else. This is the way it is. And they make a lot of, there's a big transaction going on doing that. They make a lot of money, and corporations will pay a lot of money to get good people. It's just the way it is. So, if you want to get out of that and you got a business, go ahead and get it started. I got into mine as a little more, abrupt, just based on, job loss, but, started off on the side. I did a lot of tree stuff and firewood and everything on the side for quite a few years, so it was a little less of a transition, but, from going from a part-time to a full-time, but, just jump on it and, really get in there, learn your ropes and go at it at first. So otherwise, like I said, you'll just sit around and think about it and just, you'll never get on it. So it's a term I like. It's mental masturbation. You just keep thinking about it, never do nothing. So, time is right. There's a little calamity going on right now, with the lockdowns and all that stuff, but it's going to be like anything else. There's going to be a ton of opportunity for a lot of things, because there's going to be a lot of things going out of business, and you're going to be able to get into a space. Especially, if say you want to do a restaurant in a couple of years, there's going to be restaurants that go out of business. There's going to be a ton of them. There's going to be a ton of restaurants out of business. There's going to be a ton of commercial space available. So if you want something like that, it'd be a good opportunity. There's going to be space. There's going to be market share once everything fully recovers, which will probably be, like they've been saying all along, it'll probably be a 12 to 18 months recovery. It's just, it's just going to be like that. I don't think it's going to be like, 2008, where it's going to take, 4 or 5 years, because I don't think the underlying conditions are quite that bad, but, who knows? If you're in a good position, that was one of the things I did too. I was in a really good position as far as, before all this lockdown happened. About a year before, I paid off all my debt, and, I lived well within my means. I had savings, I had investments, I had, stuff to kind of fall back on. So, don't think you're going to just, start a business one day and you owe a ton of money and you're just going to go out and quit your job, and, then you just screwed yourself. So, think about it a little bit. I'm not saying you shouldn't, just have some type of consideration, but hey, if that's what you want to do, get on it. I had a lot of inspiration, guys that own their own businesses and that do really well for themselves, and I've been doing it for years and years, and they've always been super busy, and even if they got a little slow, they made enough money throughout the year that it didn't matter. They didn't collect unemployment or none of that. They just fell back on all the money they made and had, multiple income streams and all that good stuff. So, it can be done, and don't think that, cutting trees or mowing grass or something like that, you're not going to be able to be successful, because there's a lot of people that are really successful at doing that. So it's I don't want this video to go too long, so that's about all I got. Please like, comment, subscribe. I'm also going to be working on my other channel. It's Homestead Garage. That's where I work and maintain on a lot of my equipment, things like that, like my pickup trucks, chainsaws, that kind of thing. I really need to get on videotaping a lot of that stuff, or recording that stuff. So I've been just trying to knock a lot of stuff out and haven't really had time to get it on recording, but I will. I'll do a couple. I'm going to try to do one today also. So that's the Homestead Garage. Go check that one out. And that's all I got for today. So, like I said, you want to start that business, get on it. And, stop thinking about it and just go at it. So, alright, everybody have a good day.